So now we have 2 shootings and 1 big old cup of shit. So we have 2 shootings that were jumped on by the press and the regular suspects, you know, the race hustlers are bang on their Twitter like that. Send! Burning through those characters. Rather than waiting for any, or just that much evidence. That's all they had to wait for. No, they didn't do that, as usual. So I want to give a shout out to Officer Tatum for his breakdown on this incident. I mean, if you don't know his channel, you should really go and check him out. He's great. Now, these are both very different situations, and both with sad outcomes and are hard to watch. But both seem justified when looked at closely and with context. So firstly, we have 13-year-old Adam Toledo on March 29th at 2:30 a.m. involving Officer Eric Stillman, Chicago West Side. So at 2:30 a.m., a time when your 13-year-old child should not be out walking the streets with literal gangsters, all right? It's a judgment call, but I'm making it. Adam, nicknamed Little Homicide, and an adult male were walking through the village, where they walk to an intersection, and it seems the older man begins shooting a gun 8 or 9 times at passing cars or houses or into the air. Now, the police are called to the area, where it has been reported that shots have been fired, and the officer spots Adam Toledo in an alleyway with the pistol and gives chase, where Adam stops abruptly, doesn't immediately respond to the officer's calls to drop the weapon. He then turns a little bit, kind of oddly, and then all in one motion goes to drop the gun and put up his hands at the same time, it seems, in a fast motion towards the officer in his direction. And sadly, Adam is shot once where he died. But this is also a gang practice, as we know that Adam Toledo was affiliated with the violent gang the Latin Kings, where members use young kids to act out crimes or take the heat for them, as children get less sentences for violent crimes. So they shoot someone and give them the gun, or they make the kids shoot someone because, hey, you'll get out when you're 18 years old, right? But the police have now had the handcuffs put on themselves, being told that they might have to call their superiors if they want to chase suspects. Which leads us to our next one. We have 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant, Columbus, Ohio. Now, this all happens really fast. The officer arrives on scene where a fight has been taking place and then starts up again between 2 groups. Micaiah tackles a girl to the floor, takes a slash at her with a kitchen knife, while what has been allegedly identified as her father kicks the girl on the floor in the back of the head. Micaiah then turns around with the kitchen knife in her hand and in front of the officer goes to stab another girl in the face or the upper body or the neck, whereupon the officer quickly reacts to this, and I mean really quickly and with precision accuracy. This guy's a hero. He protects the life of the girl in pink by shooting Micaiah 4 times mid-swing and putting her down. Tragic, but incredible. And people say, let the kids have knife fights, man. Why are you breaking up just kids have knife fights, don't they? Huh? Just let it happen. With the White House having weighed in terribly, and Bree Newsom, and Valerie Jarrett, and Brittany Cooper, and Kalani. But this is what the race hustlers do, don't they? They hustle that race. Gotta hustle that race, man. They don't worry about looking stupid or waiting for any evidence, not even any. Or even to tell the truth the next day when the evidence does come out. But they just jump on it for as long as required to push their narrative, their agenda. And then they skip along onto the next issue. But both situations are very quick, with very young victims, but when looked into a little more closely and in slow motion, well, seems to be justified. And I mean, what point do the police just stop turning up to these situations? When everyone's saying, we don't want police here, when will they just stop? Well, officers have begun resigning at record rates, as there is no protection from the crazy Democrats, the courts, the police around them, and the community which they try to protect daily. We saw they were willing to scapegoat Derek Chauvin to appease the bloodlust of the irrational mob, and what happened, huh? It didn't satiate them for one moment, but only made them hungrier. Only made them hungrier. In Albuquerque, bloody hell, that's hard for an English person. Let me have another stab. Albuquerque has lost 20 members of its emergency response team that have resigned in the last month. Many departments are struggling to recruit new officers, as people wanting to join the police force right now is at a historic low, as you can imagine, right? With recruits needing to be in training for nearly a year before they're released on the streets. And these kids are walking into a bad situation. And thus, in many jurisdictions, crime is skyrocketing, along with the constant destruction from the far left political extremists. I mean, can we start knocking around the phrase domestic terrorists again? I mean, I think it's really starting to accurately fit what is happening right now with the old violence to affect political change. Anyway, who would want to be a cop right now? When we even have LeBron James tweeting "You're next" and an hourglass with hashtag accountability in reference to the cop who protected the girl from Ma'Khia Bryant. Forget proof, forget truth, forget your own bloody eyes. Regardless of the situation, all cops will be demonized and thrown on the fire of progressive wokeness. Justice doesn't matter if you want to tear everything down, right? Burn it all down. It just either helps or hinders the cause when it happens. So LeBron James docks the officer with a now deleted tweet, because no one saw it, saying, "You're next." A man who saved a young black girl's life, or her face at the very least, and has been threatened by a man who lives in a $100 million house in Bel Air and makes his money bouncing a ball for the bloody Chinese. Well, surprisingly, he deleted the tweet, because he said it was being used to cause more hate. No, no, it's you, LeBron James. You're creating the hate. And the NBA and the sports networks, they covered up for his little tweet, didn't they? Because it's dangerous on many levels and is ignorant of any of all facts. And it doxes an individual who could be said to be a hero, saving the life of a young black girl seconds before her life changed forever. I mean, if someone is ever a mid-swing with a knife on me and a cop shoots him, saving my life, I mean, you better get that Vaseline, baby, because someone with a moustache is going to get lucky.